Hello all. In today's session we are going to talk about the incremental area and the solid angle. We'll talk about the beam area in terms of the normalized power. We'll talk about the beam area in terms of the half power angles, and we'll talk about the beam efficiency. Okay. For the spherical coordinate system, the infinitesimal area, if we talk about this infinitesimal area, that is ds, with radius r, will be given by, so if is ds, I'm interested in the ds, it will be r square sine theta d theta d phi. So this is nothing but the infinitesimal area. So here when I talk about the solid angle, from the definition of the solid angle, the area r square on the spherical surface sustained on solid of 1 steradian. So the total solid angle sustained by this area ds will be given by. So if I am talking about the solid angle, the area sustained by this particular, I can say, solid angle will be given by t ohm is equal to ds by r square. So as we know that incremental area can be given by, say, r square sine theta d theta d phi divided by r square. So I can say I'll get this d ohm as sine theta d theta d phi. So this is nothing but how I'm going to calculate the total solid angle sustained by this area. So this is called an incremental, so you can say incremental solid angle for an incremental area ds. So by rearranging the terms, if I see, this is nothing but the term which we have got. So if you rearrange the term, I can say r square is equal to ds by d ohm, which is nothing but I can say the incremental area, the unit will be, I can say, meter square, and the solid angle will be the steradian. So thus each r square can be considered to have a unit of meter square by steradian. So I can say my r square here is nothing but the unit having a meter square by steradian. So this is nothing but the area, that is ds, and the solid angle relationship. Now let us talk about the beam area in terms of the normalized power. So when we talk about the beam area in terms of the normalized power, let us define the beam area first. So what do you mean by beam area? Now this beam area is denoted by ohm. This is nothing but the solid angle through which, this is the solid angle through which I can say all the power radiated by the antenna would stream, means all the power will flow if p theta, p as a function of theta and phi, maintain its maximum value over ohm A and was zero elsewhere. So beam area is a solid angle as given through which all the power radiated by the antenna would stream or would flow if your power is a function of theta and phi, maintain its maximum value over ohm A and was zero elsewhere. ठीक है, so this is nothing but the definition in terms of, you can say, the normalized power. If I am denoting this mathematically, I can say I have to consider both the angles, that is azimuth angle as well as the elevation angle. So here I can say phi is equal to 0 to 2 pi, theta is equal to 0 to pi. This is the normalized power which is the function of theta and phi. So this is sine theta d theta d phi. So this is nothing but how you are going to calculate your beam area in terms of the power. So beam area ohm A is equal to, again, normalize theta phi d ohm steradian. So as we have already seen, this sine theta d theta and d phi is nothing but the d ohm in the previous equation. So whereas Pn theta phi, this is nothing but the normalized power. So I am interested right now in the beam area in terms of the normalized power. So let us put, I can say, my normalized power in terms of the beam area, Ohm A is nothing but 4 pi Pn theta 5 d Ohm steradian. So this is all about the beam area in terms of the normalized power. Now let us talk about the beam area in terms of the half power angles. So we have already seen the half power angles previously. Now let us see the beam area in terms of the half power. So the beam area can also be described in terms of the angle sustained by the half power points in the main lobe in the two principal planes. So here if I am talking about the beam area in terms of the angles, so I can say they are near about theta half power and phi half power steradian. So this is the beam area in terms of the half power angles. Now note that theta hp and 5 hp are expressed in the radians and are the half power beam widths. Okay, so these are nothing but the half power beam widths in the two principal planes perpendicular to each other when the field is a function of only one coordinate. Okay, so if your field is not a function of two coordinates and it is having only one coordinate, okay, either theta or phi. So for example, you are having a e theta is equal to cos square theta, where you are having only theta. It is nothing but the function of one coordinate. So what you will do in this particular case, so if this is, for example, if this is the situation, you are having only one coordinate, so here we can calculate only, now you can calculate here, calculate only theta hp since the field is not a function of phi. Okay, so directly we can write, so if it is not given, then directly you can write here that your theta, you can write directly theta half power beam width is equal to 5 half power beam width if your, you can say, the field is a function of only one coordinate. Okay, so this is nothing but the beam area in terms of the half power angles. Now let us talk about the beam efficiency. So when I talk about the beam efficiency, I'll write what do you mean by the beam efficiency. So beam efficiency here I'll define in this way. So beam efficiency, you will have minor lobes and the major lobes. So while calculating the beam efficiency, you need to add both this efficiency. So m plus Ohm small m. So this is Ohm A is nothing but the total beam area. So you can say this is the total beam area. Ohm m is nothing but the main lobe beam area, and this you can say small m is nothing but the minor lobe beam area. So when you talk about this, all the beam areas, you can say the beam efficiency is defined as. So how we are going to calculate the beam efficiency? If I know what is the beam area of main lobe, what is the beam area of the minor lobe, so beam efficiency I can calculate is Ohm, that is main lobe, and Ohm, that is of a minor lobe. So as this is the ratio, you can say this quantity will be dimensionless quantity. Okay, so instead of Ohm A in the numerator, we can use Ohm M, then the ratio is called as a stray factor. Sorry, so beam efficiency here is nothing but the main lobe divided by the complete beam area. Sorry, so this is the dimensionless quantity. So here I have corrected, this is the major lobe efficiency, that is major lobe beam area, and the total beam area. So if I'm talking about the stray factor, how you're going to calculate the stray factor? So stray factor is nothing but the beam efficiency, but the ratio of minor lobe beam area to the total area. So again I can say this will be the dimensionless quantity, as this is the ratio over here. Now adding, now I'll say this is nothing but my equation number 1 and this is nothing but my equation number 2. So I'll add both the equations to get the third equation. So adding 1 and 2, I can get EM plus EM is equal to Ohm capital M divided by Ohm A, that is major lobe beam area divided by total beam area, minor beam area divided by total beam area. So I can write here, this is ohm. So if I see this is the major lobe and this is the minor lobe, so to total I can write here this is total beam area and this is nothing but the 1. Okay, so here we can say this stray factor plus beam efficiency is nothing but the 1. So this is all about the beam area and beam efficiency. So we'll stop here. Thank you.